Speak the word and you will be healed. Speak over yourself. Encourage yourself in the Lord. Hello, everyone. Hello. Happy Thursday, y'all. Good morning to some, good afternoon to others. It is your girl, Leading Lady Dar, coming before you today to just share a word of encouragement, laugh a little, just to empower. And this is my song, y'all. Listen, y'all, it's a Thursday. Thankful Thursday it is. You got to speak over yourself and encourage yourself. And for any of you that want to know, this is Donald Lawrence and the Tri-City Singers. That's not why I'm coming before you, but as the title reads, and if I remember it correctly, this thing called life, your role in this thing called life. This is my jam, y'all. Present help, well, the enemy created walls. Listen, y'all. Giants, they do fall. Speak over yourself. Encourage yourself in the Lord. Give me this minute, y'all. Oh, as I minister to you. Oh, I minister to myself. Life. Listen, y'all. I'm sorry. Oh, listen. Till you feel there's nothing left. No matter how you feel. What? Speak the word. Listen. Speak over yourself. Sometimes you gotta look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you're gonna make it. All right, listen. Let me cut this off because I will not get anything done. I do apologize. I do not own the copyrights to that song, but I love it. Donald Lawrence, shout out to you and the Tri-City Singers. That lady is phenomenal. She's an awesome singer, that lead singer in that song. In that song. So listen, y'all, it is your girl Leading Lady Dar, and I know y'all probably like, what is this girl doing right now? What is she talking about? But I just wanted to share as I always do and love to do, coming before you. And I just wanted to let y'all know that your role in this thing called life, y'all gotta get it together. Y'all, not me. Y'all gotta get it together. I just wanted to get your attention, but no, we have to get it together. Our role in this thing called life, I know it ain't easy. I know it is not easy. I stand before y'all today, a living testimony that my life is not perfect. Sometimes it can be shambles, but when it's in shambles, I know what I need to do. When I say shambles, I mean some certain things. It's like things can be falling apart all around you, and it's hard sometimes to stay focused on the positive when those things are going on around you. But one thing's for certain and two things for sure, and I always say this, is that when you have God in your life, God make all things possible. You could be standing in the midst of a storm. And as I said, a lot of things can be going on around you, but he will keep you in perfect peace. For those minds that are stayed on him, he will keep you in perfect peace. And I know it's kind of hard to do. Pardon me for moving around and not really looking you guys in the face, because I am actually working. I took off today, press a little bit of, make some things happen here in my side hustle. But let me not get off track. As I said, your role in this thing called life, it can be hard. It can be trying. It can be rewarding as well. So we know that in everything in life, there are seasons. Let me sit down with y'all and talk to y'all for a little bit. That's what I intended on doing, but I also thought that I would be able to do a little bit of work while I am talking to y'all, because I do have some shirts that I need to press, but I want to talk. Yeah, I want to talk. Let's talk a minute. Let me take a little sip. Some OJ is real OJ, is not a mimosa. It is just orange juice in here. Okay. So let's talk about this thing called life. And I'm going to do my best to try to just stay focused. But if y'all don't mind, I'm just going to, try to get some of this stuff out the way while I'm talking to y'all, right? So this thing called life, as I said, it can be an emotional roller coaster. You have your ups, you have your downs, your in season, your out of season. But lo and behold, God can bless you in the midst of a storm. He can bless you in season and out of season. It's all according to his will. So with that being said, I'm going to talk about our roles. Your role as a woman, your role as a man. I'm not a man, and I can't really honestly say who you should really be, but I can kind of give my opinion from what I think a real man should be. Okay, so we're gonna just put that out there so that y'all don't think that Darnese is a know-it-all, because I am not. I am not a know-it-all. I'm still learning. And even as my role as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, as a grandmother, as an entrepreneur, and all of the above, I'm still learning. I haven't arrived yet. I am not there yet. So I'm still learning. But with what I know, I do know this to be certain, and that is being a male does not make you a man. Being a female does not make you a woman. It requires certain things, okay? It requires a lot, actually. So we all can't do it on our own. We can't do it on our own. Life is revolving. Life requires us to, one, be honest with ourselves, to say that we don't know it all, and that if you're in need of something, that you have to speak it. A closed mouth don't get fed. So in this role, in this thing called life, in that role of a man and in that role of a woman, is characteristics that need to be grouped together, to be polished, and to be given attention to, because, as again I say, we are not perfect, right? So in those characteristics, I think it's your moral, your mental, and your heart. And then growing up, we all come from different backgrounds. Some of us, in my message and in my title, as it says, some of us were dealt lemons, and some of us were already dealt lemonade, pure, strong lemonade, already sweetened. And if that's the case, that don't mean that your ish don't stink. Things happen through the course of life that take us on journeys, and sometimes those journeys, those journeys can be designed to help us, and sometimes those journeys can be damaging. And the reason why I want to share this message with y'all, and I'll share just a little bit of my story, that growing up, I didn't have the worst life, but I didn't have the best life either. Okay. So I suffered a little bit. I endured some hardships, but I had great moments. My mother did a lot of pouring into me. She uplifted me. She encouraged me. She took great care of me. And I'm grateful for that. But I have to honestly say, sometimes when you come from under the nest, when you step out there, and whether you stepped out a little bit too early or you stepped out what you may have felt as on time, sometimes that journey right there, and that when that journey begins and you stepping out on your own, sometimes it can get rough. Sometimes it can be perfect. But for those of us who have stepped out and the road got a little rough, it should have only built great character in you if you allowed it. And I just want y'all to see what I'm doing here, okay? So I'm actually peeling off some vinyl and getting some things ready so that I can press some shirts, because I am here and it's my day off, but I just want to share that the qualities of being, of good character is mental and moral, and it should have been instilled in a lot of us when we were younger, and it hasn't. And some people, they have their intentions be good, but they just don't have the know-how. And if they don't know how can we expect them to say, I don't know how? That's where I messed up, because there are people that I come across, and there are people in my life that I look at and be thinking, you should know better. But that's not necessarily so. But just because I know and I know better doesn't necessarily mean the next person may know or know better. And the same with you. You may be thinking, you may be, having a conversation with somebody, a relationship, a conversation, a business relationship, a personal relationship with somebody, whether it's at work or whether it's in your personal life. And, we're expecting, them to know exactly what's needed. We're expecting them to be of a certain way. And I am guilty of that. I am so totally guilty of that. And it makes you look at another person, not so much like you're better than them, but it makes you look at, you can have that moment of looking down on them and looking at them as if like it's something wrong with them. But just because they don't know how, we always assume that people should know. And it's just not there, and if they weren't brought up and if they wasn't taught that while they were being raised, sometimes as an adult, you can't raise grown folks, okay? You cannot raise grown folks. And if they weren't taught certain things in life when they were brought up, it's kind of hard to, teach them. So I just want to say, in your role as a woman, your role should be made up of so many beautiful qualities, such as, being smart, one, caring, let me see, being smart, caring, um, a nurturer. These are characteristics that, we should have been raised with. And I think one of the greatest gifts that my mother had instilled in me was to be more of an optimistic person. And I try to look at things instead of looking at, as this glass right here, instead of looking at this glass as in half empty. We look at certain things. Yeah, it's almost, this orange juice is almost gone. But you can look at things as half empty, half full. It's all according to the way that you were raised, the mindset that you may have. I think lack of parenting y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm not even getting ready to get emotional, but lack of parenting, that household that has just one parent, and that one parent has to split that role. She has to, and I'm saying she because majority of the time, that lack of parenting always have just the woman as the head of the household. But it's sad that sometimes us women have to put on both roles. We have to wear the skirt and we have to wear the pants. We have to become the mother and the father when God didn't design it that way. God created man and woman. God created Adam, and he took that rib from Adam and created Eve. And those were our definitive roles. Our definitive roles were man and woman. And a lot of times it's really unfair. A lot of times we go through life and we're in this life, whether it's with someone or without someone, and sometimes the women still tend to take on the majority of the roles, and it's just not right. So I'm saying to you guys, it's time to get right. As I said in my message, you need to, if you don't know what your role is, you need to spend some quiet time with yourself and some quiet time with God, so that way you can get that role defined. You can discover who you are. We look for different qualities and characteristics in men. And I'm gonna tell you, one of the things that I really, really think that where we mess up at as women It starts from our childhood. For those of us that were not raised with our fathers in in the household, it hurts us, whether you're a male or whether you're a female. When that absentee father, when you have the household that has the absentee father, when the father is not present, whether the father lives on whatever street over here and you live on this street over here, that father not being and playing an active role in your life, it can be very, very damaging to women. It can be damaging to men as well. I look at my own children who I raised as a single mother, and their father was not in their lives. And I look at each and every one of my children and I see characteristics of myself. I see characteristics of their father, even though he didn't play an active role in their lives. He didn't play an active role in their lives. They knew of him and may have had somewhat of a relationship with him, but it's nothing like having that father figure, no, not father figure, that father role in the household. So when we grow up with that, oh man, I think some of us tend to make out much better, and it helps in that role, in this thing called life, as I just said. And characteristics of a man, and as I said in the beginning of this video, I'm not a man. I can't tell you how to be a man, but I think that the characteristics, this will go a long way. Being smart, being attentive, having the strength, being a protector. And I'm not just saying that you always, excuse me, got to be a provider, even though men should protect and provide. I really just think that those characteristics, help a man, and it helps a woman, because when the two come together, in which we always will, that man meets that woman meets that man, however you want to say it, when the two come together, oh my God, it can be such a beautiful, beautiful thing. You still have your definitive role. I still have my definitive role. And if we play that out like we're supposed to and bring it together, it can be a miraculous, most beautiful, wonderful, amazing life. So y'all, I'm asking y'all to do what you need to do as the man, as the woman. Do what you need to do to help be able to cultivate a much better life for yourself. And if y'all are rearing children together, it can only make matters better. So imagine coming together, you and your active role, me and my active role, and I know what my role is defined as a woman, and I know what my role is defined as a man. We bring that together and we're trying to raise children together. Not speaking of me right now, because my childbearing days are over. My children are grown. Even though, I do have a stepchild that's currently living with me and my husband. But just imagine the mother, the father are raising children together, and knowing what your roles are, and knowing that if you don't know, that you're able to spend that time with God, you're able to seek out the role as a woman or as a man. You're able to cry out to God and say that I need help with this, I need help with that, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that. It's okay to not know how. What is not okay is when you just go through life just wondering. You just go through life just, I want to say almost being like an asshole, but I don't want to say that, because some people really just don't know. Some people really just don't know. But it's hurtful. It's hurtful to the individual because it damages them. It damages their relationships. It damages a lot of different things. And I don't think nobody got time for that. Nobody have time for that. Nobody can, raise a grown person. Nobody want to raise a grown person. So you think about y'all young men, y'all young women are out here, and y'all just going through life and not caring. Y'all living for today. Y'all not living for, next week, next year. You're not thinking about what you do today and how it will affect you, how it will affect your children. I'm going to touch on social media right now, because guess what? Social media has allowed not even just the young people, but older people too. But I'm speaking to the younger people right now, just at this moment, that social media has allowed you to not be a genuine person. And you know why? Because it is. Everybody can take these angles and post this and post that and put on this facade like everything is good. And I'm not saying that you have to go to social media and that you have to share all your hurts and all your pains, and that you have to show everybody when you're up and when you're down. But what I am saying to you is, don't allow social media to dictate how you live your life. And that's exactly what it does, because a lot of people are living lives like as if they rich and famous, and you're not. Let's just be honest. A lot of people are living lives, and I'm not saying that you have to live in a poverty mindset and show that, but what you need to do is be smart about things. Use wisdom, be focus driven on the not now, but the later. Be focus driven on, how can I set myself up financially, mentally? How can I better prepare myself? How can I better prepare a future for my children? And I know it ain't easy. I know it's easier to get caught up in the hype. I know it's easier to, you know, I'm just trying to be very careful of what I say, because I don't want to offend anyone, but I also want to help someone. And sometimes in helping someone, you gotta offend them, right? In order for them to really feel it, in order for them to really see it. But as I started out in this video, I said, your role in this thing called life. It's time to figure it out. Me as a grown woman, I don't have time to babysit no grown folk feelings. I can't raise a man. I can't raise a woman. I cannot raise anyone unless they are knee high to a grasshopper. That's it. Knee high to a grasshopper is the only people that an adult can raise. You cannot raise a grown person. And as I said again, as I said in the beginning, I'll say it again, that being a male does not make you a man. Being a female does not make you a woman. We need to possess certain qualities in life. We need to possess those qualities that will help rear us in good character, and if you don't know what they are, let's sit down and have a real conversation. That's key right there. Conversation, communication right there. Without that, there is nothing. Without that, there is nothing. So yes, it is great being a woman and a female, being attractive, being confident, being that nurturing woman, all of the above. All that is great. But a woman that fears the Lord is the most powerful thing. A woman that builds up her kingdom, meaning her household, that's great. That's love. And that's what we're put on this earth to do. We're put on this earth to serve God, to make sure that if we have children, if we have a spouse, that we're rearing them up in the right way. God fearing. We're teaching them right from wrong. We're not raising lazy children. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to make busy. Yep. Stuff like this. We're supposed to, make sure that house is kept. We're supposed to make sure that if we do have that husband, that spouse, that significant other, that we're able to communicate with them, that we learn each other's love language, that I know you and I know you, I know what you want, I know what you need, you know me, you know what I want, you know what I need, and we're all in this together. But we don't have time to raise grown people. So it's time to get it together. It's time to know your role. No, it is beyond that. You should already know your role, but some of us don't. Some of us are not that fortunate. Some of us were raised. I always say when I see how certain grown people act, I'd be like, why do you act like that? Why are they acting like that? They act like they were raised by wolves. And I would always say that. But sometimes people aren't acting. People really have been raised by wolves. People really have been raised by wolves. And what I mean by that is not thugged out. They just like living wild life. Okay? And that's bad. I mean, I guess it may work for some, but it don't work for all. And I'm a part of the all that it don't work for. So again, I can't stress it enough, y'all. I can't stress it enough. And my day-to-day life is loving on other people. My day-to-day life is finding out what it is that God wants me to do. I pray each and every day, asking God for the forgiveness of sins known and unknown. I try to make right with every situation and every relationship that I have. So I'm asking y'all, everybody ain't Niecy. I already know that. Everybody ain't Darnice. I already know that too. But you are a female, you are a male, and I'm sure that you have some responsibility in this thing called life, whether that responsibility is to your children, whether that responsibility is to your significant other, your spouse. Definitely, I know your responsibility is to God, your higher power. And as I said in my message in this video, if you don't know what your role is, we all have those roles and responsibilities, guys. And one thing that I think that God want us to do is to be able to admit when we don't know how. He want to be able, God want us to come to him. He want us to surrender to him. He want us to be able to say, God, take the wheel. We always quick and we always joke like that and say, God, take the wheel. No, seriously, give God the wheel. Let him guide you. Let him order your footsteps. Ask him to order your footsteps. If you don't know what your role is, it's time, people, to sit down in that quiet time. It's time to sit, meditate, read. I can't express it enough. And when I say this, I'm speaking on some real true stuff. Life sometimes can hand you some challenging situations. And if you don't have that relationship with God, I don't know where I would be if I didn't have my relationship with God. I don't know. But I do know this to be certain. And that is, when I lost my mother in 1996, I ain't want to hear about God. I ain't want to see nothing. I didn't want to talk about God. And don't tell me didn't want to hear that God was in control. I didn't want to hear any of that. You couldn't tell me anything because I had lost the most precious thing to me. Even though I had children at that time, they were my precious babies, my precious jewels, my precious gifts. But my mother, too, was that precious gift. So I parted ways. I didn't want to speak about God. I didn't want to hear anything about God. And it wasn't until someone else that came into my life kept talking about God. And as much as that individual would talk about God, I would come back at that individual with deep thoughts, accusations. I would come back screaming and hollering about why I didn't want to hear about God and why I didn't believe that God existed, because if he did, he wouldn't want me to hurt that bad. But all things work together for the good for those who love the Lord, for those who love God, and those who are willing to serve him. And I'm one of them. And it took me a minute to get there, y'all. It took me a minute to get there. But now that I am there, I'm sorry that I wasted that time and I had that time frame where I went without serving him or acknowledging him. But right now, I'm saying to you all, know your role in this thing called life. And this thing called life, it can be a beautiful thing. And even if you're handed some lemons, you can always make lemonade from that lemon. If it's a rotten lemon, as I said in the paragraph of this message, in the message, if it's a rotten lemon, you want to do away with that rotten lemon. But if it's just a lemon, you can always sweeten it up and make some pure lemonade. And let's correlate that thing to this thing called life. That you got it. You can do it. I believe in you. I know you can. And again, this is your girl, Leading Lady Dar. Thank you for allowing me to share. And stop getting me all choked up, y'all. So listen, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. As I said to you guys before, please hit the subscribe button. Share this video if you like. Hit the reminder, all of the above, all of that. I enjoy speaking with you guys. I enjoy talking with y'all. I just enjoy encouraging other people. I really do. So I want y'all to have a beautiful, blessed day. And thank you for allowing me to come into your homes to share. I get all choked up and I get all emotional, because that's the love in me. It's just there. It's the love in me, y'all. I love y'all. Have a beautiful day.